It's time for Geography Now Belgium. We're here gonna learn as much as we can in a short amount of time about the old Belgium.
You know, the old headquarters of the EU?
French fries were invented in Belgium. Belgian
Yes.
waffles.
Yes. That's about our extent of the knowledge of Belgium, so that's why we're here, obviously, because we need more information.
If you guys enjoy the reaction, make sure to subscribe. Let us know some other Belgium videos we should check out down in the comments below, because this is kind of a new direction on this channel here. We're going to be reacting to countries and stuff like that. So let us know if there's some other countries you'd like us to check out, especially in the EU or in Europe, and Belgium as well. Oh,
Yeah, any sort of culture videos, learning, geography,
Food.
history, that's kind of what this is about.
food. I like food. Give us Belgian food videos.
French fries.
Let's jump into this. Here we go.
At the time, France had a son named Wallonia, and the Netherlands had a son named Flanders. One day, a bunch of crazy stuff happened in Europe, yada yada yada. After all the crazy stuff subsided, Flanders was like, "Hey, Wallonia, yeah, I'm gonna move out of my parents' place, and I got this new rad apartment, but I kind of need another guy to help me pay for the rent. I don't know, you're kind of a cool guy, I guess. Would you like to be my roommate? Yeah, sure, I guess. Why not? But just for the record, I don't speak any Dutch. Oh, no worries, I don't speak any French." And that's how Belgium became a country. Kind of.
Wow.
It's time to learn geography.
Now! Hey everybody, I'm your host, Paul Barbato. You've all probably at least heard of the name Belgium, and if you have, congrats! That's not enough. Let's dissect the flag.
He was still referring to himself as Paul in these videos.
Yeah.
Wow, we are far back in geography now.
I went comfortable, I think.
Paul.
First of all, the flag of Belgium looks like the flag of Germany knocked over to the left side, but just keep in mind that the color sequence is black, yellow, red, not black, red, yellow. Also, the flag has an unusual proportion of 13 to 15, making it almost a square.
Oh.
The flag's colors are
That's
directly
weird.
correlated to the country's coat of arms, the black representing the shield and determination, the yellow representing the
That would've
lion
looked very
and
good on a travel
generosity,
vlog
and the
corner
red representing
thumbnail.
the lion's
Oh,
claws
wouldn't
and
it?
tongue
I'd
and the
stretch it
crown,
out.
as well as bravery and strength. Speaking of strength, you're gonna need a lot of it to understand this next part.
Whoa.
If you're gonna learn anything about Belgium, the one thing you have to understand is how the country is split up. This is very important, so pay attention, Branton!
Come here.
What? Azerbaijan? Yeah?
Dude, that was like 8 episodes ago! First of all, Belgium is located in Europe, right under the Netherlands, and northeast of France, right at the foot of the North Sea, next to the English Channel. In the most fundamental way I can put this, Belgium is divided into 3 regions. The Dutch, or the Flemish-speaking North region, called Flanders, the South, or French Walloon region, called Wallonia, and the capital, Brussels, acts in itself as a 3rd region, and functions in a completely bilingual way. Most of the people in Brussels speak both Dutch and French, however French is a
that's
little bit more
interesting.
prevalent. Got it? Okay, good, because we're not done. Each of the Flanders and Wallonia regions are then divided into 5 provinces each, making a total of 10 provinces. Brussels doesn't count and is considered its own region, not belonging to either Flanders or Wallonia, even though technically it's completely engulfed in Flanders. But then again, the region around Brussels has a French administrative area around the city called the BHV, or the Bruxelles-Alves-Vivoud County, in which large numbers of French minorities live and can be judged in French, even though it's in Flanders. Still with me?
Wow, there's
Good,
a lot
because it
going
gets even
on here.
crazier. The French also have administrative centers in the southeast and the southwest regions of Flanders, and a Wallonian municipal exclave in the West Flanders province called Commune Warneton, even though most of the people there speak Dutch. Furthermore, the Flemish have one municipal exclave in the Liège province in Wallonia called Voeren. Oh, we're just getting started though. Then you have the German-speaking minority in the east of Wallonia in the Liège province, whom are making propositions to create an 11th province called Upton-Saint-Wie. Speaking of Germans, Belgium has a lot, and I repeat, a lot of weird territorial claims and boundaries. For one, there are technically 5 German exclaves hidden right along the border of the Liège province in East Belgium. However, these exclaves are only separated from mainland Germany from a Belgian train track, the Vennbahn, which is no longer
what
in use.
the
This
heck?
means that you can be in Germany and only have 10 meters between you and Belgium between you go back into Germany. The smallest of these German exclaves is just a small house near the German town of Kosen with a front yard less than 2 hectares in area. Oh, but wait, there's more. Then you reach the
Why?
ever so confusing town of Barelnassa and Barelhertog, in which there are 22 Belgian enclaves in the Netherlands and 8 Dutch enclaves in Belgium, 7 of which are counter enclaves, or a part of the Netherlands in Belgium in the Netherlands. These borders at first make no
That's too
sense.
much.
Apparently they
Too
cross
much.
awkwardly through streets, buildings, restaurants, stores, and even houses. A person can literally wake up in one country and shower in the other. The rule is, whatever side your front door is on is the country that you pay your taxes to. The reason why it's so confusing is because, long story short, there was a guy ruling the area called Henry I, Duke of Brabant, who gave parcels of land to Godfrey II of Schoten, who ruled the area to the east, in an attempt to build an alliance so that his enemy Dirk VII wouldn't expand his influence. Long story short, Henry's land became Belgium, and Godfrey's land became the Netherlands. To this day, the two countries have stayed true to Godfrey and Henry's agreements and have split the land exactly how they did.
Imagine if they weren't in the EU together,
Yeah.
how awful that would get.
That would be a lot of border crossings, a lot of passport stamps there.
There'd be a border crossing guy in people's house. You'd have to
In the
cross the
middle of
border.
the if you go over the living room, make sure you got your papers with you.
Interesting. That is crazy stuff right there. Just having cities in different countries.
But wait, we're not done just yet. Finally, you have the confusing Lys Rivière
even
Canalari
done.
River in the border between the Walloon province of Hainaut and France. Starting in the town of Halouan, France, this river zigzags for about 26 kilometers with multiple river islets and land pieces that act as penne enclaves until it all stops in the town of Armentières. Each side has an equal 7 enclaves each along the river. Okay, now let's talk about the landscape. It's mostly flat. Outside the cities, there's farms and forests. It's pretty lush and green. However, the Worldwide Fund for Nature ranked Belgium pretty low in terms of their environmental performance, and the water quality was the lowest in the EU, mostly due to the high
Really?
population density. Belgium isn't really
Oh,
agriculturally driven. I mean, economically, most of their revenue comes from machinery, pharmaceuticals, diamonds, many of which were imported from the Congo. We'll explain about that in a little bit, and service and industry jobs as well. Okay, that's about it. Moving on. Now this is where things get really strange. In the shortest way I can put this, Belgium is kind of like an artificial country with technically no distinct former identity, in which two regions kind of became roommates, and the respective communities have a government with the same power as the central government. Huh. And you thought Andorra was confusing with that whole co-principality thing. Brother, please, I'm Belgium. Sit down, I'm gonna give you a lesson in complication monadics. First of all, Belgium has a little less than 11 million people. At about 57%, the slight majority of people are Flemish from Flanders, about 42% are Walloon from Wallonia, and 1% German from the German community. Keep in mind, although it's debatable, the terms Flemish and Walloon are more in reference to linguistic communities and not ethnicities. By definition, you could have a Congolese guy in Liège identifying as a Walloon, and a Moroccan guy in Antwerp identifying as a Fleming. As long as they speak
This
the
is where
languages and
things get
become
confusing.
citizens, that's pretty much it.
Yeah,
In
I'm
terms
already
of
confused.
race, though, about 77% of the people identify as ethnically Belgian, and the remaining 23% identify as non-Belgian in origin, some of the largest groups being Moroccans, Italians, Turks, and even Congolese from the Democratic Republic of Congo, as it was a former Belgian colony, along with Rwanda and Burundi, which is where a lot of the diamonds we talked about earlier come from. The Belgians even took over a small part of China for a couple decades in the 20th century in Tianjin, after
Tianjin.
quickly giving it back.
Interesting.
To this day,
We've been to
why-
Tianjin.
Yeah, very recently, we actually have a vlog channel, TriFate Lifestyle. They're going to be posting on there soon. We haven't posted them yet, but there is like this very European feel to certain areas of that city, and it's very cool. Didn't know that's why.
I would not have expected it to be Belgian.
No.
Wow. That is coincidental. That is happens to just be the city we went to.
Pictures from the Belgian Chinese colony are some of the rarest photos you can find in historical archives. As we mentioned, Belgium has 3 distinct regions: Flanders, Walloon, and Brussels. However, regions weren't enough, and so Belgium decided to split things up even more into communities. Due to the German-speaking minority, predominantly in the southeast, Belgium created a semi-mediary third community, even though only 1% of the country actually speaks German, less than the amount of people in Belgium who actually speak Arabic, and has instituted 3 separate governments and parliaments, one for each language group: the Dutch, French, and German. Each of these governments actually has just as much power as the central government. Wait, what? On top of that, the French and Dutch communities are allowed to provide cultural and social services to the citizens in Brussels, but not in the other region. This means that a family living in Brussels could possibly depend upon the central government for taxes, the French government for community centers, the Dutch government for schools, and the Brussels government for the police force. 4 governments acting at once. And then you have a king. Long story short, Belgium became a constitutional monarchy that started in 1830 with Philippe I as the current head of state. They are the only monarchy in Europe with no actual crown or lavish robes and scepters. They gained independence from the Netherlands. French-speaking Wallonia joined along, and then they chose a German prince to become their first king. In terms of culture, Belgium can be
So
attributed to a
confused
lot of
about
things.
everything.
For one, some of the world's most renowned
the
surrealist
craziest
artists came
country.
from Belgium, like Rene Magritte, cartoons like the Smurfs, and my homeboy
That's from
Tintin.
Belgium?
I have read almost every single one one of those comics,
Smurfs?
ain't nobody mess with Tintin. That dude is mad boss. The national dish is mussels with French fries and mayonnaise. Belgians will tell you that.
Mussels.
Mussels with French fries and mayonnaise. That is quite the combo.
I would have not expected that from our good old boy Belgium there.
Wow. Interesting. Those fries do look good, though.
And fries with mayo is a banging combo.
Yeah, it is actually pretty good. Here in the U.S., people always eat it with ketchup. I usually eat it with nothing, but I'll eat it with some mayo. Mussels, though,
Do you eat the mussels with mayo?
yeah, maybe you eat the shell. If you dip it in mayo, you can just eat the shell straight up.
Fries originated from Belgium. And of course, waffles. They make some of the best chocolate in the world that
Oh,
rivals
yum.
Switzerland. And of course, everyone's favorite Belgian, Jean-Claude Van Damme. They host the headquarters of the EU and are typically called upon to help Europe administer their diplomatic affairs. Affairs with other countries will discuss
It makes sense that it would be in Brussels and Belgium if it's just such a collective of a bunch of people. Why not throw the EU in there? Just make it even more of a collective of a bunch of different people.
Yeah, I mean, there wouldn't be as much of a one-sided, viewpoint, you would think. I don't know exactly how it all works out, but you would think.
If the city is already governed by a bunch of different governments, then you think that would be a good place for it. But who knows? Who knows?
Governments.
Governments.
Oh, Belgium, Belgium, Belgium. When will you learn? First of all, Belgium is a very neutral country after gaining independence from the Netherlands. Belgium quickly rose to become one of the leading powers of the industrialized Europe world, and it was a founding member of both the EU and NATO. This means that since day one, Belgium has had a huge entourage of affiliates that they've kind of kept close. However, some are still closer than others. The UK has always been a good buddy of Belgium since they played a pivotal role in the independence of Belgium. The US is also a good friend, and to this day, they still commemorate the Battle of the Bulge, in which the US played a huge role in during the liberation of Belgium in World War II. The only country that might have a little bit of a distaste towards Belgium might be the Democratic Republic of Congo, as they were occupied and became a colony for a little less than a century. Belgium kind of did a lot of things to the Congo. Although tensions are
Bad
generally
things.
eased off a bit today and numerous Congolese people immigrate to Belgium yearly, there's still a somewhat aversion that lingers on in the back of each Congolese mind when history is brought up. Of course, as you would guess, France is a close friend too, whom not only played a role in Belgium's independence, but also culturally resonates with the South Walloon region as well. The Netherlands is a close friend as they jive well with the Flanders region, despite the fact that they have a somewhat friendly rivalry with each other. Over the years, many referendums have actually passed in Belgium in which they almost considered re-annexing themselves back to their respective neighboring countries, the
Wow,
Netherlands
wow.
and France. However, they just can't seem to do it, even though the sense of nationalism is kind of weak, except during soccer games in which they go all out Belgian pride. They still can't seem to let go of each other for some weird reason. In terms of their best friend, though, they would probably consider Luxembourg. Luxembourg is kind of seen as like the little brother of Belgium and has been there with Belgium since the very beginning. They were even for a short while part of Belgium after independence, and their own monarchs, Philip I and Grand Duke Henry, are actually cousins too. In conclusion, Belgium is disputably the most...
Aren't all the monarchs in Europe just cousins or sisters and brothers, and they all just bred with each other?
Some sort of incestual relations.
confusing politically engineered country in all of Europe, and by all means, it makes no sense how they've kept it together for almost 200 years.
It really
but
doesn't.
They actually did somehow. Belgium, we dip our fries in mayonnaise to you. Stay tuned, Belize is coming up next.
That is really, I didn't realize that it was such a diverse, I mean, it's not that diverse, I guess, if it's just like 3 districts, but that it was like 2 totally different people that just came together and just made Belgium, and they've survived this long. That's so crazy, and it's so unusual for that to last that long.
Yeah, the borders of some of the European countries are unique like that. You have the Switzerland too, which has its 3 regions, and it seems like the borders of a lot of European countries will just randomly include a people group from another country, and then the border's just there now for whatever reason. And Belgium seems to be the epitome of that.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Hopefully you enjoyed. Information was good. We learned a bit about Belgium, a place we don't know much about, so let us know what other stuff we should check out in the comments below.
We need more, please.
See you in the next one. Hopefully you enjoyed. Bye.
Bye.